Hi, this is Mrs. Farnworth. I'm going to take you through evaluating some different web sources. The way that we're going to evaluate web sources is actually with, and you've already seen the link on your slideshow, is by what is called the 5-finger source evaluation. So there's like a hand, and then you look at these different parts of the hand and evaluate website. That all comes from this evaluation rubric that I'm going to show you. So I wanted to go over the points that are actually in that 5-finger evaluation before you actually use it. So the first one is currency. When was it published? When was it last updated? How recent do you really need to be? So depending on your subject, you might need something that is within the past couple of years. Or you might need a resource that, even if it was in the past 5 or 10 years, it might be okay. So it just kind of depends what your subject is. Reliability, what kind of information is included? How complete is it? What you're really looking for there is this information that you can actually use, okay? Is it useful for what you want to do? The next one is authority. Authority comes from the word author. So you're asking who wrote this, okay? Who is this coming from? What are their credentials? How are they an authority on this subject, okay? And you might even look at who the publisher is. So it might be a reputable author, but you might determine that the publisher is just really trying to sell you something, and that may take the authority down a notch. So you have to think about those kinds of things, okay? We want to make sure that they're clearly identified and that they are, that they're a trustworthy source, okay? And then we're looking at purpose. Why has this person or organization created the resource? Did they create it to sell you something? Are they biased? Are they trying to convince you of something or persuade you? Or is it fact? Is it fact-based? So we want to look at that because usually in a piece of research that you're trying to put together, you want fact-based information. You do not want opinion or biased or stereotyped information, okay? And then we want to look at relevancy. How much will I use this? How much that is in the resource is going to be useful, okay? And finally, is it appropriate? How much can I understand? Is it way above my head, like they're using words that I don't even understand? Or is it at my level, or is it way, way too far below, like a better resource for a little kid, So you want to make sure you match up you want the appropriate source for you to make it understandable. Okay, so now we're going to move on to what you are going to need to do today, which is this 5-finger source evaluation, okay? I have chosen the holiday of Kwanzaa, so your teacher is probably going to tell you not to choose that one since I'm going to take time to look through that one. So the first article I found, I just typed in Kwanzaa to see what would pop up. This is one of the first ones I saw, and it is Ashro blog celebrating Kwanzaa. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out this. Oopsie, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to fill out this 5-finger source evaluation by using the information that's in my website. So you might want to split your screen like this too so that you can see both of these things at the same time. I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. So here was my source evaluation. I'm going to click this little box at the top that's going to make this smaller. And then I'm going to drag this to a corner of my screen. And your Chromebook will do this too. It'll actually put it on one side. And actually show you. So I drag that to a corner. It's then going to ask me, what do you want to put on the other side? Okay. And I'm going to put my source, and there I have a split screen. Okay. If you have trouble with that, if you're in person, we can help you with that. And if you're at home, we can help you through it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my article title. So this is Ashro blog. I'm going to type this in this little box. Let's see, I got some stuff in my way. Ashro blog, and really the title is Celebrating Kwanzaa. Now, there's not a lot of room here, but that's okay. I can still copy and paste my URL. So I'm going to copy that And then I'm going to paste my URL right there just so that I can keep track of what website I used. All right. So what we want to do is we want to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. A thumbs up would be, it does a good job of all of the things that we looked at. If it is a thumbs down, there's something that's a little off, or it might just be a completely inappropriate source. So the first thing is we need to look for a date. So if you see here, I have date that I'm looking for. So I'm going to scroll through here. Okay, there's no date in the beginning. Usually dates are at the beginning or they're at the bottom of the website. So I'm looking at the top. I don't see one. Scrolling down all the way to the bottom. I've already looked at this ahead of time, but I can tell you there's not a date. Yes, people reference dates, but there's no copyright date or date for this actual source. There's comments, and I know the comments, it looks like 2018, 2019. So, that's recent, but it bothers me that there isn't an actual date here. So I'm going to say no, there's no date. And I know because I've got my screen minimized, I have to find my little highlighter. So I'm going to hit these little 3 dots. There's my highlighter. And I'm going to highlight no, okay? So that's the best way to do it. The other way you can do it is if you don't like that pattern that I just did, is you can just delete the no, leave the yes, and that indicates how, or delete the yes and leave the no, and that would indicate your response too, okay? So the next one is well written. Is it well written? So I'm going to read enough of this that I know, how it goes. See, I invite you to explore the possibility. This uplifting, mindful holiday can be a powerful way to end the old year and begin the next. And when celebrated intentionally, it can spur real growth at an individual, family, and community level. Now, stop there. I've read a lot of this, and I already know it's pretty well written, actually. So I'm going to highlight yes there. I'm going to hit my highlight tool. If it's easier for you to underline or bold or whatever, that's fine, as long as you're identifying which one it is. Okay, the next is my author. Do I have one? Okay, and so yes, I have Leslie Royal here is identified as the author. Now, I'm going to say yes there, but I got to go a little further than that. Who is Leslie Royal? How do we know we can trust this person? What is her authority? And there she is. She is a travel and fashion contributor for Ashro, an international freelance writer. All right, so she's a freelance writer. Does she have any kind of, credibility with history or Kwanzaa in general? I don't see anything that says that we can trust her about this. We can go into About Us and find out what Ashro is. Maybe, if it works. About Us. Aha. Ashro is a store. So, yes, she works for this store. They're selling stuff. All right. So, yes, we have an author, but can we trust her authority? I don't know. I don't feel good about her authority here. At least for what's happening in this article. The other thing I notice is there are a lot of contributors. Even though she's the author, she actually has a lot of people that are putting in their own words here. Okay, so purpose. Is this fact or biased? There's where our trick is. She does list facts. She does list facts about Kwanzaa. But if you remember that first paragraph I read, it was about an opinion about Kwanzaa. It wasn't about the facts about the holiday. So they're really trying to convince us that this is an amazing, awesome holiday. We should celebrate it. Not that I don't agree, but if I had to say, is this fact or opinion based? It has a lot of opinion in there. And so that means it's biased. That means it's going to be on one side or the other and trying to convince us of something. Okay. So I'm going to say, I have to answer this question. Why do you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down? So a thumbs up, I would give it if it does most of the things here, but I already had a problem with the author. I had a problem with the purpose. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because of that, a thumbs down, sorry, because of that. So I'm going to say I give, and I'm going to type this website, and you have to do the same thing when you do your own. A thumbs down because although it is pretty well written, there is no date and to show how current it is. And it also includes several opinions. Okay, so that's why I would not use this source in my research project. If I want to know more about Kwanzaa and I'm interested in, celebrating it, this might be a great website to look into. But for a research project, it's not going to work. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at my next website. I actually grabbed from history.com, another one about Kwanzaa. Hopefully this one doesn't interrupt me with the video because I know it did once. So this one's history.com, and the title of the article is just Kwanzaa. Okay, the URL I'm going to grab up here, copy, I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to quickly go through this and evaluate it. We have updated August 21st, 2018. Yes, that is pretty darn up to date. I mean, it's 2 years old, but has Kwanzaa changed that much in 2 years? Probably not. All right. It's a well-written. Dr. Manlana Karenga, professor and chairman of Black Studies at California State University, created Kwanzaa in 1966. And it describes what actually happened with the creation of it, the history. I've read this ahead, so I can just tell you, yeah, it's pretty well written. It's easy to understand. And, we're going to go on down to that purpose and say, this is definitely factual. The information that is included in here are facts, okay? My author, do I have one? Well, it says history.com editors. Okay, we're going to click that because it does have a link to it. And, well, that's just going to tell me what they wrote. I'm not sure if that was a great link. They work with a wide range of writers and editors to create accurate and informative content. All articles are regularly reviewed and updated by the History.com team. Articles with the editor's byline have been written or edited by History.com editors. Oh, here they are, including Amanda Onion, Missy Sullivan, Matt Mullen. Okay, so we have authors listed pretty clearly, and they're kind of verifying that, yes, we go through and we edit all of these. And this is their job. Their job is history. Okay, so I'm going to say this is pretty trustworthy. Oh, and look down here. Check that out. We have citation information. And now it's going to play a video. I got to shut this off. Sorry about that. It just kind of randomly plays. Okay, so now that I have looked through all of these things, I am now going to give this a thumbs up or thumbs down. What do we think? This one, I give it a thumbs up. So I give this website a thumbs up because it'd be good if I could spell it. It was recently updated, is well written, and is fact based. All right. So there we go. We have one that we found that was credible, that is a great source to use. One that we found is not a great source to use. So now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to find a website that you would like to try to use for your research project, and you're going to evaluate whether this website is a thumbs up or thumbs down. And actually, you're going to do that twice. You're going to do that for 2 separate websites, just like I did. Good luck.